Hey, what up, my peeps? You got Sarge here. So this is my trip report from Biloxi. Went down there to celebrate my wife's birthday. So let's go ahead and get started. Uh, so we actually this trip was supposed to happen on the 15th of January for my wife's birthday, but we had some bad weather and the flight got canceled and all that stuff. Not gonna go into that. I think some of y'all done heard me rant and rave and bitch about that from a couple weeks ago. So let's get to the goods. All right, so here goes. We left out of here. Actually, it was on the same flight that got canceled. We left out 2 o'clock in the afternoon from Killeen, Texas. Big up Texas. Left out of Texas, went up to Dallas, DFW, and our flight left here about 2:30. Got into Dallas. It's a very short flight. Got up to DFW right about a little after 3 or so, after we taxied and all that stuff. Uh, our flight to Biloxi wasn't leaving Dallas until about 7 o'clock in the evening. So we had about a 3 hour layover, which was perfect. We ended up going to Papado's restaurant, Papado's seafood restaurant. For those of y'all that's not familiar with it, serves some of the best seafood. Great stuff. So we took. I think they're located in Terminal C up at DFW, and we took the Sky Train. Went over there, took our time, sat down, had a great meal because I know by the time we got into Biloxi, it was gonna be like about 8, about 9, 10 in the evening, and a little hard to get something to eat then. Plus, we was hungry anyhow, so went ahead, ate there. Papados, like I said, great, excellent service, great food. So, got on our flight, headed down to Biloxi. Got in there about a little after 8:30 ish. Normally, not normally, but last time I went down there, I was able to reserve a Uber to pick me up. And when I came downstairs, the guy was standing there with a little name plate in his hand for Mr. Arnold, and well, this time around I couldn't reserve it a Uber for whatever reason. They said you had to do Uber on demand. So I said to hell with it. As soon as we got there, we just took a taxi, came downstairs. I figured, you know what, it's the airport, they gotta have taxi, and of course they did. Came downstairs, came out the door. The taxi was right there. Jumped in the first thing we seen, smoking. Took off to the bowl. Uh, the cab fare was $40. So from Biloxi Airport to the bowl is right at $40. So got there, no problem. Got checked into the hotel. Oh, the room was calm, so that was a plus. Ended up with a beautiful room on the 23rd floor. Uh, Ocean view, uh, excellent view. I mean, when we got in, it was 9 o'clock at night, so we couldn't see the view or anything. But the next day, we appreciated the view. So, and incidentally, we could look over and see the Hard Rock Cafe from our room where we were staying at. And since I got to hang out with Ed Roll to Win down there, the Brownwater Bash last year, I was able to actually look right over and see. I was like, oh yeah, there go Ed's old room. Ed's a baller. He go down there and they hook him up. So we all aspire to be like Ed. Anyhow, but yeah, the view that I had, I could look. Like I said, we was up on the 23rd floor. Great view. Anyhow, once we got settled in and made our way downstairs. By this time it was about 10 o'clock. Yeah, about 10 o'clock we made our way downstairs after we, got settled into the room and stuff. And I was thinking, should I play? I know I've been traveling all day long, a little worn out, tired. I was like, okay, you know what? Hell, I'm here to play, might as well play. But so, as soon as we walked on the casino floor, my wife made a beeline to the slots. I made a beeline to the craps pit. Walked over there. First thing I noticed, there was 2 tables open. There was the regular crap table was $15. The crapless crap was $25. the traffic in the casino, you know, being that it was a Monday night, was light. It was very light traffic, so not unexpected for a weekday. So I was like, okay, that was great. But the crapless crap table, being it was 15, not crapless crap, the regular crap table at $15 was packed. Okay, everybody was on that table. The and of course the crapless crap table had like two guys on it, and they both. I walked up to it and I was like debating, should I get it? I was like, well, give it a shot, you know. And I took a page out of Gargoyle's book. Hey, big shout out to G. I took a page out of Gargoyle's book of you know, putting aside a little, I'm gonna call it seed money, you know, to just broke up my bankroll in such a manner that you know, what I had, this you know, I had like $500 in my pocket, and this was just to basically get dialed in, you know, see if I can get a roll going, do something with that, and if I could grow it, great. If not, the real money was still sitting upstairs, so I had no issues with that. This was my first day, and like I said, first night, and I just wanted to, you know, get on the table, get dialed in. So anyhow, walked over to crapless crap table, and like I said, that's something I heard G talked about in, I think, one of his first interview videos or whatever on the in the craps community channel. So walked over to the crapless crap table. My position, stick right 2, was wide open. So I was like, okay, 'cause I think both guys were shooting from the end, and they didn't seem to have much going. I waited till the dice got passed to the guy that was on the far end next to me, and well, just before they passed the dice to him, I said, hey, man, you shooting? He's like, yeah, because I didn't want to not take action on him. You guys know how that go. If you don't take action, the guy next to you, the dice passes. If he says no action, he doesn't want to shoot, then they just send him back to the last guys. Anyhow, I took he said he was going to shoot perfect, so I 6-8 him. I think he had maybe about a 5 or 6 roll hand. It's like, okay, I think I recouped my initial investment of $60 on him, and then after he 7'd out, I was waiting for him to hit a 6-8 again. He 7'd out, so dice came to me. I got some notes here, so let me hit up my notes and tell you what I got here. Let's see. So dice came to me. This is day 1. My first hand was a 10 roller. I made a point of 6, and then immediately followed it up with set the point of 8. Came back, hit that. I was using my 3V set. 3V set was in rare form, so was the chopper. I quickly got dialed in. Well, I played in those tables before, so I was very familiar with their bounce. Nothing hadn't changed, so I felt quite comfortable on them right off the bat. And that first 10 roller hand, I wasn't pressing anything, just trying to. I went 132 inside on crapless crap. Didn't do any extreme or anything. Again, just trying to get dialed in. Then first hand broke even. The next hand went back up 132, and dice went down, came back around real quick. I think I 6-8'd everyone, didn't really make any money. By the time the dice came back to me, I went 132 again and promptly PSO'd. It's like, oh boy. And this is, I'm on a small bankroll right now, skinny bankroll, because I'm really saving I got my 2 envelope upstairs in the safe that I'm not touching till the next day, when I really had planned to start, you know, trying to build bankroll and play serious. But if I could get it done that night, that would have been perfect. So, and then after I PSO'd, the dice went around, came back. I think Didn't make any adjustment. Still stuck with the 3V. My set that I love to use, 1-3 set, and so dice comes to me, and I go on a 30 roll monster. Okay, I held the dice for 45 minutes. And I take that back. I did change set. I went to the kissing threes. Okay, and offset them 6-2, 2-6, and that's because that's my normal crapless crap set. Kind of like it's a straight sixes, just offset. And anyhow, I go on a monster 30 roll hand, and I had bought in for 300, and I cashed out at 1465. Okay, so that was a nice little infusion of cash on the first night after stepping off the plane. I'm up $1,100 right out the gate. So that worked out perfect. Now, every time I held a dice, I forgot to say this here. Every time I held a dice, okay, or I approached the table and the dice came to me, the first thing I would say to myself is, all right, let's get this monster roll going. It's a play on words that I heard Ed at Roll to Win say. Well, he didn't exactly say it like that. He says every time he holds the dice, I think he says he shoots like it's gonna be a long roll or a monster roll or something like that. So I just made it my mantra that every time the dice came to me, I was like, okay, let's get this monster roll going, you know. So I betted accordingly. When I say bet accordingly, I pressed and pressed and pressed, and it just go wherever the hand takes you and grow with the hand. But I wasn't, the thought of a early 7 never crossed my mind, because I'm just thinking, this is gonna be a monster roll. Okay, I'm expecting this roll to be. Sometime I'll say to myself, okay, well, by the time I get to 15 or 20, then I'll worry about what I'm gonna do as far as regressing, or not regressing, but just anything. I'm just saying the hand is gonna get that high. Again, playing psychological games with myself on the table. It worked. It worked as far as, let's say, calming my nerve. It's kind of like you go in a room and, what they tell you when you're giving a speech, just think everybody in the room is naked except you. Well, I get on the table and go, hey, you know what? I'm going to roll a monster hand, and I'm not worried about Big Red coming, or PSOing or something like that. So, again, just playing psychological game. Just something I did. And thanks to Ed for that. Like I said, it's something he always says he doesn't worry about. I forgot how he put it, but it's kind of like in those terms. Anyhow, but again, that's something I just picked up from Ed, a style of play. Okay, so that was the last hand for that night. After I cashed in for $14.65, I was like, okay, this is great. I am off to the races here. I cashed in, colored up, and that probably is not the one that I'm going to post on this video here. I'm going to post the other one because I took a picture of my color up for that night. Okay, so that night, made my way up to the room about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Me and my wife were late sleepers, woke up that morning about 11 o'clock-ish, checked out the view, sat around. By the time we made our way down, grabbed a bite to eat. That was day 1. No, that was the first night we got in. So day 1, night. Okay, getting confused. Day two. Okay, yeah. Day two. Day two. When we came down after we got something to eat, we had already decided that hey, we're gonna go to the Hard Rock Cafe next door. So we came downstairs, got something to eat. When I went upstairs that night, forgot to mention, I put a little something in the safe also, and came downstairs with I don't know, had a bankroll for about 1G or something like that, and took that next door with me to the Hard Rock Cafe, and said, okay, let me see if I can grow this here and do what I can do. So went over to the Hard Rock Cafe. Again, this was a Tuesday. Not much traffic was in there, very light traffic. Actually, here's the beauty. When we walked in the Hard Rock, again, my wife took off, went to the slats. I made a beeline to the craps pit. There was absolutely nobody on the table. And the tables were $10 tables. The tables were $10 at the Hard Rock Cafe. I was like, okay, this is great. I was like, this is perfect, cause I was like, okay, let me see what I can do here. So I walk up to the table. I kind of, stood back for a minute, checked out the table, and then one of the, I think it was a stick man, said, hey, it's an easy game to play, man. We'll teach you how to play the game. You just pick the dice up and we'll tell you what to do. I was like, I can wing it. I can wing it. I'll figure it out. So I bought in for $200, and they pushed the dice down to me again. I'm the only person at the table, just me and the two dealers and the stick, the pit, the four of us. So, and guys, I commenced to going on a nice 20 plus roll hand. Now let me go to my notes here real quick and see what I wrote down. Okay, played the Hard Rock Cafe, $10 tables, bought it for 200. First hand out the gate was a 20 roller. The chopper laid down like 2 flat tires. Next hand, the next hand was followed by back-to-back PSOs. Yeah, and I was playing across. I think I was probably playing 44 inside or something like that. Since it was a $10 table, but back-to-back PSO. I don't care how much money you got out there. It's gonna put a hit in your bankroll. And then about that time, there was this guy that came up to the table, kind of Arab-looking guy, young fella, and he bought in, and actually he bought in during my roll after I hit a point. After I hit the point, he bought in quickly, and I think by the time he bought in probably when I was maybe about 7 or 8 rolls in, and so he made a little money on my roll, and he looked over to me and gave me a thumbs up when I finally 7'd out. Then the dice went to him, and first thing I noticed was, as soon as he released them dice, man, they came out like a dice barrel, like they was glued together. I was like, all right, we got a shooter. I was like, okay, keep an eye on this guy, and let me bet accordingly. I started off with a 6-8, and I quickly started growing with him. Dude laid down about a 20 plus roll hand. I was like, nice. Okay, so that brought me back in from my 2 PSO'd. Or was it? No, I think I PSO'd the next hand after it came around. Yeah. Because it was just me and him on the table. Then one of the guys showed up. The dice went around, came back up. I PSO'd. The dice went to the other fella, the shooter. He PSO'd. Like, oh boy. Then it went up to the other guy. In the end, he had a decent roll, about a 6 or 7 roll hand. The dice came back around to me. I PSO'd. I'm like, oh boy. The dice went back to the Arab guy. he PSO'd. So right now we are just total like an iceberg. Don't know who left the door open, but there's a draft in the room. And then I was getting fed up, and dice went around. Finally, I I think let's see. Let me go back to my notes here. Okay, so what had happened? I noticed when I got those two 7 outs, those two PSO back to back, I was using a V set, and they both came 3, 4, 7 out. So I quickly said, okay, you know what? Let me change it up. Go to a kissing set, the 6-2, 2-6, and I get in there, and I was able to get back on track with a 15 roll hand and a 9 roll hand, all quality rolls, inside number. Well, over there, the Hard Rock, there is no ATS. Only thing that got me a little peeved at the Hard Rock was the lady pit boss, and I know Ed knows her well because he always talks about her. Everything. Once the guy was sitting there, the old fella, he was kind of like nodding out asleep or whatever, and they was talking shit about him, and he's like, "Y'all not can hear you, right?" But he wasn't sleeping. So anyhow, so after they changed out and she came and took over as pit boss, I'm in the midst of this 15 roll hand, laying him down nicely, got back on track, and she go, "Hey shooter, you're taking too long. You need to speed it up some." I'm like, oh no. So now I'm catching heat from her saying I'm taking too long. It's just the three of us on the table, and I'm not taking no longer anybody else in my mind. Anyhow, so I started rushing a little, and that kind of just threw my rhythm off because I don't want to get any more shit from her. So I started trying to, move a little bit quicker, and I don't know. The 7 came. Okay, so after the 15th roll, the 7 came. Next hand came around. When it went back to the Arab guy, he had a nice roll again of about a 10, 12 roll hand. Then it went to the guy in the end. He did okay. Came back down to me. I did okay. I had a 9 roll hand. And bottom line is, when I left out I colored up, and actually went way down. Lost. Had rebuy. For another 100, and was in to the Hard Rock for about 300, and when I left out I was only down 175, and was at that table from about 1 o'clock that afternoon until about 5 or 6. So I'll call that par for the course for playing $175 for some fun for 4 hours or so. So that was good. Wish I had won some money, but okay. Anyhow, left out of the Hard Rock, went back up to the walked back up to the boat. By now it's dinner time, about 6, 7. Wife says, yeah, let's grab something to eat before we go back out on the floor, since it's gonna be, that way we can just play all night. So we went, hit the what is it called? Salt Ivy, something like that. Yeah, the Salt Ivy restaurant, and great food in there, great service. Got something to eat, chilled out a bit. Then I was like, all right, let's do this. So we went in. She went to do her thing. I took off to the craps pit. Go over there, and this is Tuesday evening. Crapless crap. Everybody migrated down to the crapless crap. It's still a $25 table, but the regular crap table is $15, and there isn't much folks on it. There was actually 2 guys on there, and one guy was a black chip player, and you could tell he was frustrated because he was just flinging chucking the shit out the dice, and the pit boss was like, "Yo, hey, easy with those dice, man. You're gonna knock somebody's eye out, because that dude was just he's frustrated now." So anyhow, I look at the guy down at the end. First thing, my customary thing, I was like, "Hey, sir, are you gonna shoot?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, great." made sure I took action on him. He had a decent roll, well, maybe a 7 roll hand or so. Think he hit the 6, but never the 8, so I was down $15 on him. So I'm like, okay, no biggie. The dice came to me. I like the set. What set did I go with? All right, let me go to my notes here. Okay. Let's see. Walk back up. Yep. Okay, $15 tables. Don't have the set. But anyhow, first thing I did was I bought in for $200, and I went 10-5-10 up top on the ATS with a 2-1-2 for the dealers. And guys, I commenced to going on a 26 roller. Okay, and I was using the 3V set, my normal 3-1-3-5-3 3V set, and I am rolling, hitting, killing the inside, just killing the inside, and then I look up and I realize, oh, hold up there. All I need is a 3 and the yo for the ATS. Sounds like okay, and me and Super Mario had a discussion about this. What I did next was very dangerous, but I pulled it off. I changed the set. Mid-roll went straight from a 3V to kissing threes, the 6-2-2-6 set, and but not well. I actually went 1-2-2-1, so the yo was on the opposite side of that, 5-1-5-6, and man, I said, okay, regardless of what, it's gonna be worth it if I can hit these numbers. If not, at least I try. And I commenced to throw. I think first roll was a 6, second roll was a 8, the next roll, boom, got the yo. I'm like, yes, okay. So I got paid a nice $310. So now I'm looking at that 3 thinking, come on, Sarge, you can do this. You can hit that 3. Just stay focused. So stick with the set, and I'm throwing. But 2 rolls later, boom, the 3 shows up. I'm like, yes, guys, that was a nice payday. That was a hell of a payday. Okay, like I said, I was up for 10-5-10. Collected another 310, and was it 750 on top of that? So yeah, and this was in. I'm still shooting, and actually the first time when I hit the 3, the first thing I did when I hit the one side ATS, I turned to the dealer. I said, I quietly leaned over and said, "Hey, turn me off." She's like, "Got you." Okay, and then I think 1 roll later, after I hit a box number, I was like, "Okay, turn me back on. We're working again." Started get back into it, and then I hit the after I made them all. Once again, I leaned over to the dealer and I said, "Turn me off." She's like, "I got you." And at this time, she's over there all giddy, and thank you so much. Hell, remember I got dealers up for a nice 2-1-2, so I got him in the will, as I like to put it. So anyhow, right after that, the next roll was I think I rolled a 3 again. Okay, then I rolled a midnight. Then I promptly 7'd out. Okay, so I was like, then the dealer looked over at me and she's like, good call and turn your bets off." I was like, "Thank you." And she's like, "No, thank you." It's like, okay. So right after that, I was like, "Hey guys, color me up." So as I'm coloring up, the guy next to me, this young fellow, they push the dice over to him. You know, I push my chips in, and he starts rolling, and it's then I realized, oh, I saw this guy shooting the night before, and this fellow here he can shoot. And I was like, damn, I should have been up on him. But anyhow, think I took like maybe $200 back from him and told him to call up everything else. And I went ahead and placed a couple bets on him, and was able to pick up another 200-300 bucks just off that guy shooting. And on top of that, he made the small on the ATS. Of course, I missed out on it because I was busy trying to color up. But he made the small, and I picked up another 200 bucks. And then I was like, after he sevened out, I think he had like maybe about an 18 roll hand or so. I was like, all right, I'm done. Color me up. Told the dealers another 75 bucks, and walked away with the picture that you're gonna see me post on the front of this video, which is gonna show full purple chips and a couple of black or green or something like that. So that's what I'm gonna put on the cover for this. So after that, and then I took off and went over to, after I colored up, I went, found the old lady. She was over there in her slot machine doing battle. I was like, all right, here you go, lucky lady. And whipped out 500 bucks and put that in her hand. And she's like, what? I said, yeah, got lucky at the table, hit the bonus. She was like, oh, right. So she was happy. After that, I quickly commenced to making a beeline upstairs to the room, hit the safe. And this is something that Cashier Cage had told me from the day before. Cage says, Sarge, make sure when you win anything, break down your money and put something aside so that you walk away with the win. Okay, put something aside in the safe so you can walk away with the win. And that's exactly what I did. That was a nice chunk of change there that I got on that ATS, and I went straight upstairs, put it in the safe. In addition to that, I had my 2 envelopes marked day 1 and day 2, broken down by 1,500 bucks a piece, that I hadn't even touched. All that was in the safe, along with my ATS hit there that I just, put aside. So that was perfect. So then after that, it got a little late, I said, and I wanted to play a little bit more. So I went back downstairs, and I think I had posted this in the Craps Nation chat, and I got some great advice from George from CY. Okay, and that's the beautiful thing about this Craps community. You hear me call all these different guys' names and stuff: Ed, Cage, Gargoyle, and so forth. Guys, this is like a resource that you can tap into when you out there doing live play. And I call these guys and I get feedback, and I had was texting with George after I post this in the Crap Nation chat. He's like, Sarge, great, congratulations on your win, proud of you, you're doing great, bro, keep it up. He's like, but remember, be humble to the dice. Be humble to the dice. I was like, you know what? Got it. Okay, so I was like, let me keep that in the back of my mind also. So when I went back downstairs, went back to the table, by now it's about 1 o'clock, the wife came up, she went to bed. I said, I'm gonna hit the table one more time. Came back down by 500 bucks in my pocket, so I'm gonna play this out. I go back to the table. Wouldn't you know, as soon as I get on the table, back-to-back PSO, and I was up at 132 inside, okay? Back-to-back PSO. I'm like, wow, ouch. I was like, it's starting to happen. I could see shit starting to unravel real quickly. And again, I could hear George from CY in the back of my mind going, Sarge, be humble to the dice, be humble to the dice. And I was like, you know what? Let me stop here for the night, color up. I was getting a little too big for my britches, and I was like, okay, this is a good time to walk. So I quickly gave him back 200 bucks. that night, and I called it a night. Think I went to the bar, uh, got my glass of Johnny Walker Blue Label, good shit, and just sat there, watched the rest of the game, and just chilled out. And after that, took my ass to bed. So that's how that night ended. Now, that was Tuesday night. Wednesday, we decided when we woke up, we was gonna, again, we sleep in late. By the time we get downstairs, it's 1 o'clock. We decided we was gonna hit the IP. And I had talked to Ed. Ed said, hey, the IP, you wanna make sure you check out the IP because those tables are probably, will work great with your tossing the chopper. It's like, okay. It's like, and I've heard from other guys like Alfredo say, hey, the tables at the IP are great, you know. So I was like, okay, I really need to check this out. So we, me and my wife go downstairs after we got something to eat. The Salt Ivy restaurant downstairs. We caught the Hopper, and it was like $1.50 or something, and we go down to $1.50 per person. We go down to the IP. You know, actually from the bowl to the IP, it's like we took the scenic route because I guess we hit all the other casinos, and then the IP's like the last stop before you get back to the boat. So, all right, so we'll go to the IP, go inside. Wife took off to go do her thing. I walk up to the table. It was maybe about four guys on the table. I quickly discerned one of them looked like a practice shooter. You know, he was setting and trying to keep them together and so forth. Everybody else was just kind of chucking them. So I'm like, okay. So I waited. Again, my position was open, which was perfect. Stick right 2.5, and the dice go around. Before they get to the guy on the end of the table, I said, "Sir, are you gonna be shooting?" He's like, "Yes, I am." It's like perfect. So after he shoots, as soon as the dice get to him, I 6-8 him. He had a decent roll, probably like a 10-roll hand. I was like, nice. So I recouped my. I think I played table min on him. I won at $12, 6 and 8, and had quickly spread that out to picking up the 5 and 9, and I probably made about a nice $50-60 on that fellow. So that was good. So the dice comes to me, and I have bought in for $200. I'm like, okay, let's see what they can do here. And again, my first roll of the day, I come out swinging for the fences. That roll, at the IP, I had about a 18 to 20 roll hand. Not sure, but it was right up in that vicinity. Had about an 18, 20 roll hand. Again, since it was the first roll of the day and I was unfamiliar with the table, I was pressing lightly. I was just enjoying myself. Go, hey guys, I have the win secured in my pocket. I'm not trying to give anything back, so I'm just enjoying playing craps because this is what we do, you know. No pressure, just play and enjoy. So get on the table, have this nice 18-roll hand, and in the middle of the hand, the stick man looks over and he goes, I've seen a lot of different tosses in my time here at this casino. I have never seen that toss in my life. I was like, okay. I said, well, good. I say, they call it the chopper. That's what it's called, the chopper. He's like, get to the chopper. Everybody loves to say that. He's like, all right, Mr. Chopper. He says, it's a beautiful toss. I'm like, well, thank you. So, and I had the deals at, let's see, at the IP. Of course, if I'm shooting out, I went 5-5-5 on myself. I think I needed that elusive 11 for the tall, and well, you know, shooter's gonna shoot. I took and That's when I changed the set. It didn't quite work out that time because as soon as I changed the set from the 3V that I was using to the 2662 set or 1221 set, I 7'd out. So yes, Mario, you was right, and there the danger happened. That time I got caught. The other time I got lucky, right? Anyhow, so that was had a 15 roll hand, that 18 roll hand there. The dice came back around. I think I played one more hand, and then the I had like I don't know, about an 8 roll hand or something. Then after that, my wife was like, well, we need to get ready to get out of here so we can catch the hopper and go back up. So I was like, okay, give me a minute, I'll go. I had promised my mom that I was gonna play a slot machine with her. So I called up mom, and we was FaceTiming, and I went through it, took out $100 and put it in a couple different, and I was like, you want to play that machine? She's like, yeah, go to that one. Played it. She's like, take it out, go to another one. Play some more, take it out, go to another one. And then I was walking by, and she's like, whoa, hold up, what was that? Was that a Buffalo machine? I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, let's play that one. So I was like, all right, and we're sitting down there, and by this time I'm down to $20. That's all that's left out of the 100, and I put it in. Guys, I didn't even know what the hell was going on. I just put it in. Mom is telling me what the machine's doing. I ain't no slot player. And she's like, you're trying to get 3 silver coins, and if you get 3 silver coins, it's going to trigger and do this, then you get the buffalo head. Everything she said started happening back to back to back consistently, and it was like 8 free games. Then it triggered again. Within those 8 free games, it triggered another 8 game. Then it triggered another 8 game. Then it triggered another 8 game. Now, make a long story short, off of that $20, when it finally stopped triggering, we had a total of 52 rolls, and we had just pressed it from 60 to 120, so it was playing $1.20, and we cashed in $518. Okay, so that was great. And my mom, incidentally, my mom is sitting at home in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. Big up, Sarge, the VI guy, mom. So yeah, mom was sitting at home, and so she was enjoying this. And then just as we got finished, my brother had just walked in the house, and he takes the phone from her, because I'm saying, Mom, yeah, you did it, you won that. He's like, yo, bro, I got one word for you. I was like, yeah, what would that be? Zell. I was like, I said, done. As soon as I got off the phone with him, I Zelled him the $500 that Mom had just made on the machine, and I said, bro, yeah, good deal. All right, you caught me. Yeah. Well, I was gonna send it to her anyhow, but sending it to him just made it easier. He was able to go down the road, go pick it up from the ATM, come back home, and give it to her. So that worked out brilliantly, and Mom just loved it. So here it is. She's sitting at home in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and collecting money, sitting there on her ass. I was like, life must be good, huh? She's like, yes, it is. Anyhow, so back to the story. Anyhow, the wife, by this time, she's at the door, and when I was telling Mom, we're about to go catch the hopper, she's like, make sure you give your wife give D $100 for me. I was like, all right. So I go to the door. My wife is standing there. She's like, got that peeved look on her face, like, what took you so long? Well, yeah. I was like, just call it up. Me and Mom was on a machine, and she said, hey, get this $100. She's like, oh, that changed everything. She's like, oh, $100. I was like, yeah, that's what Mom wanted the machine. And she's like, you was playing the machine? I was like, yes, I was. Anyhow, so you guys know that story that I related that to her then. Anyhow, after that, we got on the hopper, made our way back up to the bowl. By this time, it's Wednesday night. The place is packed now. Monday and Tuesday, traffic was very light. Wednesday, got a crowd in the bowl. Walk up to the crap table. Boat actually had uh, three. Was it three? Yeah, they had three, either three or four craps table open. Okay, I was like, wow, and all of them was packed in, and they still had a $15 table. The crapless crap was 25, of course. Then they had a regular crap table at 25, so it was really, yeah, three tables were open. I think I got on a table and played. I bought in for maybe $200. Played a bit. Uh, didn't couldn't get any traction going. Had, excuse me, had a couple of short rolls of maybe seven, 8-ish or so, and then I decided, you know what? Let me try a hand at sports betting. I go over to the sports book, and I place a bet for $200 on the Blazers. Who is it? The Blazers and Portland Trail Blazers and the not Boston Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks. Because I was like, well, the Greek Freak and Lillard, Lillard, bye bye. It's gonna he's gonna kill, beat his old team. Apparently, it didn't quite work out that way, and I took the over. I took the over at 137. Lost. Okay, I had a nice little bet going. I had a $200 bet on that game. Lost it. So after that, I was like, okay, that's it. I am out. I'm not giving them back any more money. I think I went back to the bar. Grabbed. They had ran out of Blue Label. No more Johnny Blue. So I had to settle for some Crown Royal Black Reserve, the good shit, and sat down there, finished off the night, and just chilled, and that was it. Flight out the next morning was 5 o'clock, so we was out of Biloxi before the sun came up, and we was back in Dallas, made our way back here to Killeen, and guys, bottom line is I am up from that trip a nice $2,500. That's to include the 5 that I gave the wife, so she got 5. I ended up with 2. Normally, I would have gave her 1,000, but I got some other stuff going on that I need to take care of. So, but the bottom line, and don't get me wrong, she racked up on the slot. She took a picture of her slot win. She won 400 on the slot. You know how it goes. Her money is her money, and our money is their money. So yeah, she's a winner regardless. Anyhow, yeah, guys, this trip to Biloxi was epic. I had a blast. Being at a crap table, sometimes you have to you have to think and use your brain. It can be exhausting when you're thinking of what set you want to change to try and hit a specific number. I know some folks say don't change set, stick with your set. Me, I like to change set if the ATS is within grasp, because I know sometimes it happens and it comes, but another time it doesn't happen, and you start thinking to yourself, man, what if I had changed the set? Maybe I could have hit the number. You never know unless you try, and I am game for trying. So other than that, I think I covered everything. I've been long-winded enough. This is almost coming up an hour, so even if I think of something else, I'm not gonna say it because I didn't talk too much. However, I just want to say you know, the again the guys out here in the craps community that I lean on when I'm out there, I appreciate it so much. Uh, Cashier Cage, you know, my dice sensei, you know, Cage keeps me grounded, and I can always hit him up. Then I got Ed over there, Roll to Win, that gave me great advice while I was down there in Biloxi, tables to hit, what I can expect, and so forth. And then George from CY, hey, George always keeps me grounded. You know, shoot me a little something on the side and tell me, you know, hey, be careful, Sarge. This is when you don't want to give it back to them. Stay humble. And again, I keep all these things in the back of my mind, and it helps to keep me grounded when I'm out there. And like I said, I was able to use a little bit of gargoyles style of play as far as you know, you know, breaking up my money when I first got there, and you know, knowing what I was going to use. I do that kind of anyhow, but again, because I heard what he said a couple interviews back, it actually kind of stuck and made sense, so I kind of went with that. And the old envelope thing, as far as having your different envelopes, something I picked up from Ed along the way too. So hey, appreciate all the great advice, and you know, that's what I love about this craps community, man. So all right, I'm gonna stop here, shut it down. I've been running my mouth over, coming up on an hour, but hey, guys, this has been Sarge getting it in, and repping tonight for Rick to let it roll, baby. That's what I did. Let it roll. No fear. All right, take care, my peeps. This has been the Sarge. Sarge out. Stay safe, everyone.